Australians no longer accept tobacco advertising in any shape or form. Now public health advocates say gambling ads should also be banned because of the harm they cause. The federal government has proposed a total ban on live odds during play and limited bans on general gambling ads during matches to reduce the intensity of betting company marketing. But just as tobacco companies were once accused of targeting teenagers to get them addicted to their product, Australian researchers believe gambling firms are just as voraciously targeting young people today. Michael Vincent reports.
It's well known that cigarettes kill, but gambling is lethal for some Australians as well.
Last year, the Productivity Commission estimated that up to 400 Australians suicided because of gambling, and that's represents a major problem.
Rob Moody is a professor of public health at Melbourne University.
Gambling is a big problem in Australia, and there's well over 1 million people in Australia that spend more than 10% of their income on gambling every year. There's a huge number of people that actually have real addictive problems with gambling. We know that for every person who is addicted, there's 10 others who are affected by it.
With an explosion in online gambling services advertising, there's also a new market being targeted.
This is where it really relates to tobacco. It's that business of trying to tackle teenagers. That's why it is that we really can do without it. We really should have it removed from our televisions where it's constantly tackling teenagers, particularly when it's associated with their healthy activities such as sport.
Michael Moore has been lobbying in the federal parliament all week.
There is gambling. There's always going to be gambling, and that's personal choice. But having it right in our faces and having industry constantly putting it in our faces is just simply unacceptable, particularly when we know they're targeting teenagers and children. And that's why it is that we do need to have a ban.
How is this issue any less a health concern than cigarette smoking, the advertising of which was banned entirely 20 years ago?
Well, the point that you keep linking is studies and outcomes. I'm saying we have just massively reduced the amount of gambling advertising that is possible. Massively reduced it.
From major sports there is support, but also anger over how the issue and government response is now threatening revenue streams.
We support the new recommendations. I think we're all paying the price of an outrageous advertising campaign by one individual that's got in people's faces, and they are absolutely entitled to be outraged by that. And I think One Network didn't cover themselves in glory either by the way that they've promoted live gambling.
Rob Moody was once chairman of the Melbourne Storm in the NRL.
There's a huge proliferation of a whole range of gambling organisations that we now see on our TV screens. I'm a very keen, avid watcher of sport, and all I see that at the moment is gambling, alcohol and junk food. There are other avenues we can use to actually fund good sport in Australia.
Lateline approached Tom Waterhouse for an interview, but there was no comment. The Australian Wagering Council has also not responded to a request for them to put their case. Michael Vincent, Lateline.